And you know, I just been noticing, like, girl, you have slacked in the past, and I wanted to tell y'all what I have found with myself, things that I'm fixing that are helping me. Infrequent training schedules. I would do lower body and then I would just know, okay, in 48 hours I gotta go back. Problem with that though is that I'm not always remembering when the 48 hours came, when was the last day that I trained. So it could be 3 days later and I think it was 2, and or it could be like, you know what I'm saying, and then you're missing that one extra day, when if you skip a day, realistically you could get one more training day within that week, and that will affect your gains like big time. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I got into this flow of going into the gym really early in the morning, which is great because like it helps me with my day. I don't know about y'all, but every time I work out I feel like on top of the world, pinky in the brain, like I'm ready to take over the world, like what's up. As I started going really early, like 6 a.m. whereas in my previous workout journey I was going to the gym, I want to say it was like mid-afternoon, like 3-ish, between 2 and 5 p.m. for sure. It wasn't even late as 5, so I say between like 2 and 4, like somewhere between there, right? So that's a big difference because think of how much food you're getting in beforehand with the 2 to 4 schedule versus 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I'm not thinking about eating first thing in the morning. I'm not usually hungry first thing in the morning. Well, I shrugged that. Let me take that back. Sometimes I would be hungry, and this is what I would do. I would get a muffin with my pre-workout, and it's
so I made my own version of Jamba Juice Chunky Strawberry Bowl because who's about to be paying $10 every time? Not me. So you take strawberries, you could take yogurt, peanut butter, cashew butter, whatever you like, and you put it in the blender to make a puree. After you make the puree, you could put sunflower seeds. I did pumpkin seeds here, and then I forgot to get granola. I usually use granola, and then you cut a banana and then put it on top of the puree, and that ends up being about 600 calories, which is really good, and it never cramps my stomach. It's not too heavy, but it has a little bit of everything in there to nutrition wise get you going before your workouts.
You know, young rich niggas, you know, so we ain't really never had no old money. We got a whole lot of new money though. Hey, raindrop.
I completely forgot that I used to use ankle weights on top of the dumbbells. When I was recording my workout and writing everything down, I wouldn't put down ankle weights plus dumbbells plus, you know what I mean? So that's a big thing. Whatever I'm using, whether it's going to be resistance bands, ankle weights, like it doesn't matter, I'm going to put down the specific piece of equipment that I'm using to make sure that it hits the same every time. Because here's the thing, right? You may not think like 5-pound ankle weights make a difference or something, but they do. They really make a huge difference because of the vector load, and the vector load is just basically the angle, you know what I'm saying? So picture a lever. Wherever you place the weight, it's gonna hit different, right? So the weight being at the ankles, it doesn't hit like it's 10 pounds, it hits like it's 25. I promise you, try it. Like if you don't record that and you stop using that, my gains are going to be different. All that defining strength training, no, that's out. We are training completely for hypertrophy over here. Okay, so bullet point 3, 2 parts to this. A, I was not swapping them out fast enough, and B is that I just was not challenging myself enough, period. So when I say like swapping them out, right, when you're in the workout, I'm assessing myself. Like, I'm seeing on a level 1 to 10, I'm remembering, or at least trying to remember, how hard is this for me. It would be 2 in there that were not really that difficult for me, but I kept them in there because I still felt the muscle activation, right? And 2 days later, when I'm supposed to be feeling sore, for the most part, I know the scientific journals and all that say that just because you're sore doesn't mean anything, or don't relate soreness to how hard you work. But for me, after soreness has always come gains, so that's what I'm going with, scientific journals. Thank you. But I would keep those in there for like a month. I would be complacent, basically. I wouldn't take the time outside of my schedule to go ahead and think, okay, what else fits into this program that are addressing the same body parts. That would be more challenging for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I continue to take a month to swap out exercises and get a full program, because that's what it needs to be, full program, every exercise, like by rep 12 need to be go to see the lower level. And then when it comes to pushing myself, I think just because I wasn't using a lot of weight over the past year or so, that I felt like I wasn't strong. And that's not true, because I was still training agility, balance, mobility, range of motion, flexibility, and those things definitely allow you to have the foundation, if anything, so you can go ahead and lift heavier, safer. So yeah, I've been doing a lot more pushing and a lot more soul searching, as far as go ahead and be bold. And be bold, girl. Like, try what you did when you were at some of your high points. Just see how it works. Yeah, my last workout, I tried something from when I was at a really a good point, and yeah, it did that. Yeah, was sore and was so yeah, that was a lesson for me. Like, girl, okay, we're not playing anymore. Okay, like I said, rep 12, going to see the Lord every exercise. I'm gonna touch back on my appetite. I got one more other thing to say about the appetite, right? You know how I was saying at 5 a.m. okay, I would get a muffin pre-workout, and then later in the day, it turns out I only had 1,500 calories, and that's not even minusing the workout. I addressed that by getting some A syrup. Yes, I did. And I'm addressing my appetite, and not just ways I'm gonna add more calories. Point blank, period. You are going to have to want to eat those calories in the first place. So yeah, that wraps up my spiel. We're about to go to the gym. My battery is blinking. Let's get it.
So this is one of the exercises I add ankle weights to change the vector load and to make it more difficult. I'm still sore, and it's like 4 or 5 days later. So you know how I was saying that's how I measure it. This is my first time reintroducing this exercise back in, but I'm so glad I did, because now I know my results are about to come in, okay? So this is one of the mistakes I was making, right? So you see how girls use the big barbell with the 2 plates on the side? That does equal out to about 70, or I would get in a groove of doing like 50 pounds, 60 pounds for the deadlifts. But for me, my stature, I guess the way my limbs are, I feel it way more using these bar dumbbells, I guess you can call them, not those other super long ones, because of, I guess, how I'm built. So that's one thing, like I was saying, swap them out. Even though it looks like I'm struggling, I was just trying to get more muscle activation, and it was not happening. So this is going to be one of the ones that I do go ahead and swap out. You can add more weight, but I would just rather move on to something else that I know is going to challenge me right away. This was my first time using a hip thrust machine, and I have to say I am not let down. So I will be using this instead of the barbells because you could just use more weight this way safely. You can carry more weight, so it's much easier when you're starting to do heavier hip thrusts. That wraps up this video, and let me just stop and say thank you. Oh my god, if you are still subscribed to me, that is insane. I have not posted in so long. I was figuring out my life, but YouTube is where I'm gonna be at. So I just want to say thank you again, and we're gonna run it up. We're gonna have more videos coming because this is where I'm gonna be at. It's official.